Hey YouTube, this is Jeff Norton. First video here in the shop. You hear the compressor going there over down my corner. It's a little loud and everything. Got here. It is July 4th, 2021, and I am or have been asked to video some of the work that I'm doing on the RV10. So I'm here in my little storage unit. It is air conditioned, and in Florida that means everything. Hangar's still being built, and so what I'm doing is the empennage, which I don't really need a whole lot of space for that. So I rented this nice little storage unit here with air conditioning, which means a lot. But even in the Florida, I'll kind of zoom back around here, even in Florida, even in an air-conditioned storage unit, you still need a big industrial fan and everything. So I just kind of give you a walk around my little shop here and kind of show you what I got going on. So behind me, you'll notice Harbor Freight. I'll have to say, Harbor Freight should with all the kit builders out there, it seems that most of the tools come from Harbor Freight. And so I've got my rolling cart over here with my bigger tools. And then the tools that I use all day, I've got in the yellow cart here as well. And then as far as my benches go, you can go kind of tilt it up. So on my bench back here, this is kind of my plans workbench that I use with my laptop that's got all my plans on it. Of course, I also have a folder there with that. And then I've got my messy bench. This is where, and as you can see, I have a bunch of cameras there. My intention was to document this from start to finish, but I'll have to tell you, let me go over here and turn this on. I don't need the air compressor on just yet, so let me turn that off for now. So my intention was to record everything from start to finish and do all that, but you know what? I realized I wanted to build an airplane. I didn't want to be a cinematographer, or what, however you say that, cinematographer. Yeah. So what I'll do is, instead of that, I'll just do these selfies and everything. I think that's selfie video. I don't know how they say it. But I'll do these videos and then intermix steps and things that I'm doing, and then get that published. And that way I'm not worrying about cameras. And I mean, I got the nice setup. I got a really nice setup over there for cameras. But to be honest with you, it's a pain in the butt. I want to keep this so that kids can watch it and everything, so we'll keep it clean. But it's a real pain in the butt, to be honest with you, to set up the cameras. I want to, get in here. I do about 2 hours a night. I want to spend those 2 hours actually building a plane, not being a director and everything. So I'll intermix all those these videos, and put them together, and then get them to you and everything. So there's my compressor, once again, from Harbor Freight Special. Worked out really well for me. Worked out really well. I have to say, it's doing a great job. And I'll show you some of the things that I did to kind of, I didn't modify that as much, but I made sure one of the things I did is through Cleveland Aircraft, I made sure I got the lightweight hoses. These things are awesome, I have to tell you. These lightweight hoses are just incredible. I do have some of these hoses that I got from Harbor Freight as well, my longer hoses. These are great too, but as you can see, the fittings and everything, they get really heavy, and they're cumbersome, especially in such a small space. I don't have a whole lot of room to throw all my airlines out and everything like that. So that was one of the things. The other thing I did, I'll kind of show you down there, right there, I put in a water system that takes the water out of the hose lines. That works really well, really happy with that. There's my laptop there that's got my plans, and of course I've got my written plans over there. All my tools that I generally use, foam to keep parts off, and if you look at my blog, you'll see that as well. And then I'll just kind of, it's a mess. I had to shove a lot. My truck is actually in the shop, so I had to take a lot of my pilot gear, my flying gear, some of my boat gear and stuff out of the back of the truck, and I had to pile it in here for the time being. Back there I've got 2 shelves. All my parts are still in their sub kits. What I do is I'll take apart, I have my book that has all my parts in it when I inventoried them, and then I keep them in the sub kit. And then one of the things that I do is when I pull a part out of a sub kit, I went to Harbor Freight, got one of these, and I wrap it all back up. You'll be doing that a lot in this. You'll be pulling parts out. Oh, there's my little project toolbox. Learned a lot there. I have the project for the light kit way back there, but I wanted to get, look, I got this so I can build an airplane. And so sitting on project parts and all of that, it's great and fine, but you know what? I'm not building an airplane and everything. So I'm on step 6.3. I documented on my blog. If you go to n622rv.com, it'll take you to the builder blog, and you'll see the the 6 all the way up to the 6.3 on that process. From now on, I will be videotaping everything that I'm doing. I kind of go back there. Like I said, I got tools, bigger tools, all that stuff back there in the back. Racks from Home Depot. Well, I should say box store. It's not Home Depot, but box store. Worked out great for me and everything. So like I said, today I am dimpling. So you will see me pull out the dimpler, which is right under the table. Got to get this back. So it's under the table. So I'll do some dimpling today and get the parts. There's my parts laid out. Everything's been mocked up. I've already done all my countersinking and all of that. And so today I'm going to be doing the dimpling, and yes, I am going to rattle can paint or prime all of my parts. I am getting the quick build kit whenever Vans can figure out when those are coming. I am going to be getting the quick build kit, the wings and the fuselage from Vans, so those will all be primed by them when they figure out how they're going to reprime. But yeah, for those that are new, Vans had a little quality issue with their priming, and they went to another supplier. It's my understanding, I don't want to speak out of turn, but it's my understanding they went with another supplier, and they're doing getting those back into the production, and I think they said next year we'll be getting, but to be honest with you, I'm not ready for it. I'm nowhere near ready for it. I'm still on the very first section, 6.0. I'm actually doing 6.3 to that as well. One of the things I will have to say, one of the most important tools that you will ever have in this shop is these safety glasses. Make sure you have those. I cannot tell you how much aluminum flakes are flying around in the shop. I can make thermite, to be honest with you, with all the aluminum. Who knows, I might make some thermite. But no, there is a ton of aluminum, and it's fine, very, very fine pieces. You get that in your eye, you're done. I mean, you are done. Not only do you jeopardize losing your eyesight, I mean, you're done. If you ever have aluminum in your eye, the process of getting it out is it's painful. So you do not want to mess around with this stuff. So I cannot stress enough, make sure you wear your safety glasses when you're doing any kind of aluminum. These are my normal. Obviously, I'll switch them out here in a minute and everything. So that is it. Just a kind of a very quick tour of the shop. I will have to say, I am very impressed with these tool chests, toolboxes from Harbor Freight. Great price, heavy duty. Everything's labeled. I got more than enough space. Like I said, I also have the bigger one for my bigger tools, drills, stuff like that, and everything. I just can't say this enough. You have to, if you want to build an airplane, you have to be organized. There's no, not only do you have to follow instructions, which I'm a little challenged there. I like to jump ahead and stuff, but you have to learn that you have to be organized. No matter what you do, you have to have organization. Your tools, you got to know where your tools are. There's nothing worse than digging around a toolbox looking for tools that you need, things of that nature, especially when you're doing it by yourself. Your hands are shoved up inside somewhere, and you can't be reaching. You have to have everything laid out. So what I do is I lay my parts out, have them all marked, get them mocked up on that bench. This is like my plan bench where I sit and work out my plans, figure out how I'm going to do things, strategize. You spend a lot of time preparation. It's like flying an airplane. You spend just as much time going over getting your flight plan, getting all that stuff done, and then the actual flying, right? So that's that's very important with this as well. And you have to be organized. Like I said, I take, here's all the sub kit, and you'll see your parts will be intermixed inside your sub kits. So like I said, what I do is I have the sub kit, I have a labeler, I'll relabel them, and then I'll pull the part out, and then I wrap it back up with that shrink, and I put it back on the shelf, and that way it's all in order and everything, because there are tons of parts. I have another unit that has other parts in it that I know I'm not going to need, the bigger parts and everything like that. So I don't want to say further ado. I hate, what the hell is, what the heck does further ado mean? I have no idea what it means. But it is what it is. Oh, water. Yes, that is my gallon water. I try to drink that every day. In this shop, it does, even though it is air conditioned, it's still 80 or so. And so yeah, you gotta drink water and make sure you have plenty of that, especially if you're in a hangar, like in Florida. Like I was at the EAA club the other day, yesterday morning, actually. We had our meeting, not this one, this is Williston, Brookfield, and it was warm. It was warm in that hangar, so I can only imagine. This is air conditioned at 80 degrees, and it does get miserable in here sometimes, especially in the hot Florida weather. We've had some rain. We got a hurricane coming, so we're gonna have, tomorrow will be spent doing that. Today I figure I'll knock off some of the airplane, get my dimpling done. That's the goal for today, to get all the parts dimpled in 6.3. Get this skin here dimpled. Have to get this is the skin. I'm gonna dimple all these holes here and everything. And like I said, as I go through the process, the key points, I will make videos of those and share those with you. But like I said, I know a lot of guys, I love Jason Ellis's, shout out to you, Plane Lady. I love your videos, I really do. Your videos, I have to tell you, motivated me, told me that I could do this too. I love them. I'm just not gonna set up cameras and do all that stuff. I'll just do the selfies. And then when I get to parts that I feel that, certain sections, I'll stop and take a video of that as well, because it's a natural pause. And to be honest with you, it helps. A lot of people go, well, I thought you were building a plane and not being a video guy. You're absolutely right. But the thing is that by stopping and walking through the process, it makes sure that I have it up in my head correctly and everything. So I will be stopping from time to time to shoot those videos, those close-ups and everything. But I just want to say thanks. Hope you hang out, ask questions. I am going to be doing with the camera. I do have internet here at the building. So I will be doing not YouTube videos. These are YouTube videos, but I'll be doing Zoom calls and stuff. As we get we're going to get Patreon. Look, it's not a business. I'm not trying to make it a business, but we're going to get the Zoom meetings going, or whatever video conferencing meetings going on the thing, so we can actually talk. I think that's really, that's one thing that I wish some of the other builders would do, is actually, while they're building, have a section where they can or have video conferencing going on so people can ask questions. It doesn't hurt. You sit at the bench anyways, and you're working, and if someone has a question for you, you can ask it right on the conference, right? And be glad to answer. I mean, I like to talk. I don't think you guys have, you probably figured that out by now. Gosh, I gotta shave. I love the holidays. This is 80-hour weeks, you know, literally, to pay for all this. 80-hour weeks, and having 2 to 3 days off is it's a great thing. And oh, by the way, time management. Let's talk about that. There's some builders can get this done in 2 years, a year and a half, by themselves. They're trucking, cruising. 2 years, realistically, my plan is I try to spend at least 2 hours a night here at the shop. I haven't done that, to be honest with you. My Tahoe has been in and out of the shop. I have a lot of problems with it. I love Betsy. My wife wants, I'm driving a Dodge Ram pickup truck. I like it. It's a nice truck, but wife is trying to get me to get another vehicle. I just can't let go of Betsy. She's in the shop, and she's been causing some problems, reliability issues. Don't know if she'll start. It's got a new engine in it, though. It's kind of strange how that works. But been having some issues. So I haven't been getting to the shop as much as I'd like. But my goal is 2 hours every day or every night, or to make that up over the weekend. And that's what I do. And I think 2 hours is a good enough digest. You know, there's a lot of information, as you guys will see a little bit later on as we look at the plans. There is just a ton of reading that you have to do and everything. Can you build this? Absolutely, you can. I mean, I was never a kit builder. I built rockets. I love them. I love building rockets. I love electronics and stuff, but I was never a kit builder or a model builder. And you just gotta follow the plans, and you gotta ask questions. That's key, and you gotta watch the videos. If you go to my website, which is n622rv.com, n622rv.com, that will link you over to the RV10 build site. There's a lot of videos. Plane Lady, you know, Jason Ellis. Those are really, really great. You know, there's a lot of great videos out of there. A lot of great RV10 builders out there. You can watch their Missile 25 is another one. Day in a Life Plane is another one. I have those all linked there in their videos. You can watch them there. And you just got to reach out to people and talk to them. So without that, this is a 17-minute video. Oh my gosh, I got to get to work and everything. It ain't going to build itself. So I will talk to you guys later. But thanks for coming to my channel. Hang out. You know, I would tell you I'm going to let you leave comments. No, I'm not, because people are just idiots on the internet. So no comments. If you want to leave a comment or anything, you can shoot me personally an email, jeff@n622rv.com. Shoot me an email. Be glad to listen to it. You know, haters out there always be haters and everything. Shoot that over to me. I will, when we open up the Patreon page and get that going. Yeah, we'll allow members to post comments and things like that. But you know, there's just a lot of stupid stuff out there on the internet. And you know what? I'm trying not to add to it, but who knows? So that's it. Be well, and I will see you guys in a little bit, because I've got some dimpling to do, and I want to show you the setup and how that's set up. And I'll also show you some of the countersinking, some of the tips and tricks that I used. Talked about this. See the red dots? There are times where you have to not dimple and you need to mark things. I know a lot of people use tape or use that. I found that these little red dots, and therewill be a link to where I got them. I use these red dots quite a bit. They're different color dots, mean different kind of things for me. And I will post those on there. So enough of that. Let me get to work. Let me get this plane. It ain't gonna build itself. And I will talk to you later. And I just realized I wasn't videotaping the whole part, so let me back up. So these are the sets. These are called sets. Man, I told you, I'm not. Now I know why Jason, it's taken him 5 years to build this, his airplane, because all the video stuff. So these are sets. There is a male and a female to this set. Let me see if I can pull this guy out with one hand. The male, female, they go in there like that. Depending on how you're dimpling, you're going to, you can put this on the bottom, put this on the top. It's totally up to you on the way that you're doing it. Some people, you know, it's a preference. I can't use, I was originally going to use it on this. I can't do that because this will not fit. So there's another method using what they call a squeezer, which is a pneumatic squeezer that will do the same, and I'll show you when we get there. One of the biggest misconceptions about dimplers, you cannot over dimple. These are tool hardened steel. They're only going to go so far and only allow you to go so far. So no matter what you do, you just can't over dimple. You can't overdo it. I mean, it's the profile of the cup and the male end. That's what creates the dimple. But this is hardened steel. You're not gonna over crimp that. So don't worry about it. But one of the rule of thumbs that I've learned from watching other builders is that you want to basically double tap it, you know, and on each crimp, not just once, and that one forms it and the other one sets it. So it's very important. A lot of builders say that you should do that. You should double tap it and everything. But you know, I when I was first setting this up, the most important part is make sure these are in line. There's a process for doing that, because you don't want these out of alignment, because it'll break that tip off, or you'll scratch it or whatever, and that's the only thing you can probably do wrong with this machine. Great machine, DDR. It makes repeatability. Everything's repeatable. One thing is that know that you're getting enough pressure, enough squeeze, is you should get a halo around your working piece when you're done, and I'll show you that when we get done what the halo looks like. So basically what you do is you set it down, and then you give this a quarter turn. This is a locking nut that locks it in place. You give this head a quarter turn, just a little bit more, and that puts that nice little halo, and you're looking for that halo. That means you got great engagement with what you're doing. So enough of that. Let me grab the part off of the bench. Make sure I turn the camera on this right. I'm fogging up. I don't know if you guys. All right, so YouTube, here I am. I'm back. I'm over here at the bench. I got the fan going. It's kind of loud, so I'll speak up so you guys can hear it. I got the skin over there ready to be dimpled. I can already see I need the table. I can already tell you that right now. So I'll be building the table for that. But let's get through this, and I'll kind of show you what we're doing today, and then we'll go from there. God, I gotta shave. Ooh. You know, I'm old and fat too. But all right. So enough of that. So let me flip over here. Gosh, I cannot. If any of you guys know how you can flip when you're shooting a video. So if any of you guys know how to, there we go. We've just flipped it over. So there, magic. I'll edit it, right? Post-processing. So here's the plans. Here is the rivet schedule. But there is a rule, or if you read that, it tells you to leave these top 8 open. And it also tells you along the bottom to leave the first one open, no rivet, the second one open, and then every other one to that point. So what you got to do, and I'll walk over here to the part, what I've done is I have put red dots on. So the first one, no, this is going to get riveted, and this is going to get, if it's getting riveted, it's getting dimpled. These are actually screws that you're going to put in later. So every other one. So you scroll down. This one here, there's 3 because you got an intersection here. So there's 3, and then 2, and then 3. So what I did is I put the red on there, and that corresponds, let me walk you back over to here, what I was showing you guys earlier. You also have to correspond it with the inside ribs, right? So I did the same thing here. I don't know of an easy way of doing this all at once, so that way you know why you have it mocked up, because you do mock these parts up. I don't know how to do that all at once, the easy way. You just got to take your time and make sure that you get these correct. This is the skin for the tail. We're on section 6.6, but we're actually over here. They tell you, one of the things vans will do is that they'll tell you to skip to 6.6 as you read the instructions and everything, and this is how it lays. These are the ribs that you have to, up here at the top, they're open, so you're fine there, but the bottom two, which are this guy and this guy that I showed you, this one is actually this one here, or this one here, right? So you have to make sure that you don't dimple these as well, because screws are going to go through this. These you dimple. The reason why you dimple is because you're dimpling the part to make everything flat. Even the rivets are flat along the wingtips and everything, so you don't have any protruding rivets for parasitic drag. Makes it a little bit faster. I don't know how much. But when you dimple something, it's concaving, so in order to match up, you have to dimple the corresponding piece so they all match together. So, all right, so enough of that. I'm gonna get over here to the dimpler, and then we're gonna get going. I don't know how we're going to do that, but let me walk over here to the dimpler, and then we'll pick up from there. So, I'm over here at the dimpler. As you can see, we talked about this in the other video. This goes down. This is the piece. I can already tell you that I do, each one of these holes get dimpled. So I can tell you it's gonna be mighty awkward. So I'm gonna do one or two on here, and then I'm gonna cut the video. I'm gonna try to hold the camera and do the dimpling, which is gonna be a pain in the butt, to be honest with you. Actually, you know what I can do is, so I'm not dealing with a piece. I know I have to dimple these here, these parts here. See, I got written on their dimple. So I'll just go ahead and dimple these instead of the flats. And then that way you can see how the dimpler works, because this is gonna be a pain in the tukish, as they say in the Yiddish world. So let me sit down here. I'm gonna grab this part. Can he do it with one hand? Absolutely. Now you gotta make sure you're gonna dimple in the right direction. So in this one, I'm dimpling down, and, oh, get the camera. So I'm gonna dimple down. So the way that you do that is you put the part in. I'm just gonna kind of line it up with the hole, kind of capture it there. Oh my gosh. And that's how it goes. And then what you do is you give it a compress, and that forms a dimple. And a lot of guys will double tap this. I'll do that in a little bit, but let me show you what the dimple looks like. So I gotta get my camera there. So that is the dimple. That is dimpled down, and it needs to go there. See, there's no halo. Oh yeah, there's a slight halo. Oh, let me get the camera. You can't really see it, but there's a slight halo right there, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that slight, ever so slight halo in the system. So let me, I'm gonna double tap this again, and then we'll just go from there. Actually, I see what the problem is. I used the wrong die for this. Darn it. I dimpled the wrong die, which is okay because I can, you know, I used the smaller one. Darn it. See, that's what happens when you try to do the video and you're not paying attention to what you're doing. I can't get that piece in there. Maybe can't get that in there. So, yep. So there you go. First mistake, first dimple, first mistake. I have to use a different set of dies. These dimples are smaller than that hole. That's why I didn't crease it that well. But you guys get the idea of what it does. So let me get the right dimple here, and I'll get this done, and try to show you what a good dimple looks like. All right, I am back. Let me turn the camera this way. All right, so I had my light kit over there, so I grabbed a piece off of that. So as you guys can see the dimple that it creates when you dimple that? It's just a little concave. It just takes the metal and makes it concave. And I don't know if you guys can see the ring, but there's a small, well, not in this one. So I have to adjust this down a little bit because you want a halo effect. You want a small outer ring and everything on the when you do the dimpling on these and stuff. But that's what it does, is it makes a very small indentation. You can see the back side of what it looks like, and then like I said, all your mating parts need to be dimpled in the same direction so they all lay flush. So that is a dimple. That's what a dimple looks like. This one here, I suspect I did with a squeezer actually. I pulled this part out. This is my pit kit for the light kit to practice on, and so I just wanted to pull that out and show you that dimple. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do the skin as planned, and then I'll show you what that halo looks like after I get that skin going. And got to pay attention. I already made my first mistake. I dimpled the hole with the wrong dimpler, so hopefully I can recover. Oh, yep, see, got to pay attention. I got to decide, do I want to do videos or do I want to build an airplane? So that's about it, and I'll be back with you guys in a few minutes. All right, so I got the part in here. I dimpled the first, let me keep the camera the same. So I dimpled the first, but as you can see, there's no halo there. So what I did is I turned this around, and then I did a quarter turn. Just a quarter turn is all you need. This upper nut here, right there at the upper nut. So I turned it just a quarter, and then I'm gonna redo it, and I'll come back and show you what that looks like. I'm back now. I did my quarter turn. I want to kind of show you. I don't know how well the camera's going to pick this up, but you can definitely see it with your eye. See that little, this is the dimple. That was actually a good angle. See that little halo? Let me get my hand in here. See that little halo right there on the outer edge? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for that little halo. Not much more, just a little bit of a halo right there. And that tells you that you got a good dimple. So I've got the 3 done. You can see the halo there, and then you can see it. You actually see it better here, and it's all, the camera kind of, let me get to an angle and you can see it there, and that's what you're looking for, is that little halo, and that tells you that your dimple die is set up correctly. So with that, I've got this whole sheet to do, and it is very awkward, so I'm going to go do that, and then we'll come back when I'm done. Share with you guys an issue all the builders have. These last two, because of the way the DDR, it goes all the way to the frame, you can't get to these last 2 holes there. So there's a way, and I'll show you, it's a pop rivet, and it's done by hand. I'll show you that right there on how to get to those last 2. But as you can see, got this along the top. I still got to do the back. I still got to do the whole other side. So I just wanted to share these. These 2 here, you have to do with a pop rivet, and I'll show you how that works here in a little bit, but let me continue on. All right, so with that, I found out that not having a table is a nightmare, trying to get this thing to work without a table, just balancing. It's awkward. It's 2 pieces that fold over, and you don't want to crease your aluminum. So I was able to get all of the down the center across there. Now I got to do it on the outer edge. I did not do the back edge because I want to double check my red dots there to make sure. Just to make sure, because you do that once, and if you mess that up, you're buying a whole new skin. So, but like I said, I hope this will work. This is a Amazon box that just happened to be the perfect height for this, so I'll use that to support the product. But yeah, I can see I will be pulling out some of my tools in the back and building a carpenter. The other thing I realized, these are the EAA benches. A lot of guys will ask me how I built these. These were very easy to build. Great plans are on the website at n622rv.com. Fans going because it's a little steamy. We have a bad rainstorm coming up. We have a hurricane coming. We might have to evacuate on Tuesday. Category 1. I don't know. But so the plans are on the website. You can get those from there. Great plans. One thing I did learn, all the stuff underneath, all the big stuff, I had to take out because this will fold under and everything. So I left there's my little cute little toolbox. It's gonna go on my plane. So yeah, that was my first test kit. Learned a lot from that. I got the light kit in the back. I'll get working on that a little bit later. Great things. Those are sander for the sanding machine. But I had that underneath. I had to get it out of there. It was just in the way. So also I had to clamp down the DDR. I didn't want to drill it in and everything, make it permanent, so I just clamped it down. You will need to do that because there's a lot of forward force as you pull these down. Everything's going real well. Everything looks really, really, really good so far. Just got to take your time. It is a process, right? Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Is what they say. I will tell you, this is a real pain in the so you know, it's just awkward. If you have two people, it'd probably be better. If you had the benches, it would be great, but definitely need two people. And like I said, we have the two down here that I wasn't able to get because of the limitation there. So I'm gonna pop rivet those and I'll show you how to do that. But yeah, everything's looking good, shaping up really, really well. Got to get back to work. And I had to turn my music off. I don't want to get a copyright strike, so I get back to playing the music and get back to work. So we got it all dimpled. It's there. It's blowing in the wind. It wants to take off. No, not really. As I said earlier, there are certain holes that you do not want to dimple per the plan. So what I'm going to do is the ones that don't have the diamond or the star around them or the triangle, diamond, jeez. Yeah, the ones that don't have the triangle, those are rivets. The ones that are just a circle, those are the ones that we want to make sure that we do not dimple. And you can only screw this up once, because if you dimple it and it's not supposed to, you're buying a new sheet and this becomes test scrap. So take the time, do it. So we got the outer edge there. No, see? And then we got one that needs to be dimpled, one that's not, and then every other one from there out to the center. And then you have the three here. That is those three right there. And then you go out to the edge, and then you have the last three. Actually, this is the center here. Let's see the center there. So you got the last three there, which are those last three. So I'm gonna take the time again, turn off the video, build the airplane, stop trying to show videos all the time, but I think it's important. It's kind of interesting to watch this process. So I marked them with red, but I will double check with the video off, pay attention and everything. So that is the next step, and then we'll dimple this, and then we got to start all over. And then when we get done with that, we got the two up there that we'll have to do the hand dimple, which I'll show you how to do that. All right, I'll see you in a few. All right, so this is, I was able to get this one dimpled, but not this one. I also noticed this little here, I got to round those edges off. I thought I did that. Actually, I know I did that, obviously not enough. I don't know if you guys can see it. Small little crease there, and that comes from these noses here, right here, need to be rounded off. I did that, but obviously I didn't do it well enough. So I'm gonna have to fix that, do a little bit more rounding. So how this works is, this is the die, and you do it by hand. So this comes in through this side. Let's kind of set it up here so you can see it. So that comes in through that side, and then this is the dimple, and you can see it here. So this goes like this with the sheet metal between the two, and then you use your riveting gun to pull it, and then that will set it like that and allow you to rivet it. So that's what allow you to dimple it. So that's what we're gonna do next for the two. I was able, like I said, I was able to get the two done. I just have the one on one side, one on the other now to do. So I'll get over there and get those done. Let me help if I show you. So I've got this one here and then the one on the bottom. But I was able to get that one with a little finagling. So that's next, and then that will complete the skin. No, it will not. Oh no, see? I just noticed. I gotta pull out the dimpler, and I got a dimple. I missed a whole roll right here, but it looks like everything else is done. There you go. My QA. You gotta QA it, but I'll get these two done. I'll pull out the dimpler, and I'll get those other ones done, and then that will complete the dimpling of the skin, and then we'll move over to the flanges and to the ribs, which I'll use a squeezer, and that's a whole different process. All right, see you in a bit. So as you guys can see, it dimpled. That thing worked really well. It dimpled it really nice. It's even, it's concentric. and it looks good. I notice I've got it on this side too, so I'm gonna have to make sure I get those. You can see a little bit, I mean, you can't fill it, but you can see a little ding, but you cannot fill it at all. And it's where that nose is rubbing. And if you look in here, I did see a little scratch right there. So that tells me it's rubbing. So I'm gonna put those on the buffer wheel right there a little bit, and then take those edges down just a little bit more, round them off, so that way we don't crease that. But like I said, I did miss this whole row, and this is what it looks like dimpled on the inside. To see how it comes this way. I missed this whole row here. Help I move the camera. So I got to pull out the dimpler and then get these dimpled, and then that will complete the skin. And then, like I said, we will switch over to the squeezer, and we'll do the other pieces. But I'll be back with you in a minute. All right, pulled out the dimpler and redimpled those ones. It looks good. It is done. I love this dimpler. I can't imagine doing these by hand or with the hammer method. So everything's done. So skin has been dimpled, and I did go back and verify that I actually got all the dimples. All the holes have been dimpled. Everything looks good. That is the skin. I'm gonna change out this die set. If you remember early in the video, I used the wrong size dimpler, so I'm gonna change this die set out, get those dimpled correctly, and then I will switch over to the squeezer, and I'll show you how that works, the pneumatic squeezer. All right, so I switched out the dimpler, the set. This is called, actually, not two of these are called sets. I don't know why they do that, but this is called a set, and this is a set. So I switched out the sets for the right one. And let me see if I can, you know what? I think for this shot, I'm gonna pull these out, and I'm gonna invert these because it would be easier. You know, I do have a GoPro that fits on a thing. Then you just gotta make sure that you get this aligned right. So this goes like this, because you want the dimple to be on this side here. So this goes like that, and then, cameraman, I am not. If I'm making you sick, I do apologize. You gotta get that GoPro, and then this comes down like that, and then dimples it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna hold the camera, but I want to show you how that goes. So that goes like that, and then that will do the dimple. And then when I get back, after I get these 4 dimpled, pay attention to what I'm doing, because you don't want to screw this up, because you'll be waiting on this piece for a while. It's been back ordered. And get these dimpled, and then I will come back and show you how that works. Got those dimpled, as you can see here, but I want to go over to the bench because I want to show you something. So these 3 or 4 are dimpled, and then what I had to do is I had to countersink. Oh, what happened? So I had to countersink. This is the structural plate, gives it a little bit of strength. So I had to countersink these, and that's used with a different tool. Cage, if you go to my blog, you'll see how I countersink. So the whole idea is that when these, and whenever you dimple pieces to pieces, you countersink, that should sit flush, and it does when they come together. So that is the idea there, why you dimple. Now, the other reason why we dimple, and I'll just show you here, let me grab a rivet. I got a bunch of rivets from all my projects, so I'll grab a rivet that will go in there, and I'll show you. Get the right one. I don't know my rivet sizes yet, because I really haven't gotten to that part of this build. And so when that rivet sits in there, you will see that it actually sits flush. A little bit of optical illusion, but that does sit flush inside there. And that's how that works with the rivets. You want these to be flush to the system. So, all right. So that's what that is for. That's how that works. That's why we countersink, is because, like I said, with the RV10, all the rivets that are exposed for parasitic drag, which is drag, you know, every little bit slows down, adds drag. So they want all the rivets to be flush that are exposed, so that way they don't offer any parasitic drag or any turbulent air as the wind flows over those items. This is off the back vertical stabilizer, but this piece here is actually exposed in the back. I can show you using the plans here, my page. You get all my rivets. Like I said, that's my box of extra rivets. But if you look at here, this is actually exposed. This piece, it's actually this piece right here. Not too much though. There's actually a fairing that goes over this. I wonder why they did a flush. I don't know. Smarter minds than me, because there is a fairing that goes over this. That this is the body, the tail section. This is the vertical stabilizer, which is the fin on the airplane, right? I don't know why it is this piece right here is what we're working on, right here. But there is a fiberglass piece that goes over that. So I don't know why why you have to do flush, but I'm sure there's a reason, like I said. So, all right. So now we're going to set up and we're going to actually dimple these pieces here. So they mate with the other from the skin, so that way they'll sit flush. Because right now when you dimple, as you can see here on this piece, you create a little bit of a, I don't know, uprising where it's, it's up, protrudes a little bit, and you want everything to sit flush. So we're gonna have to dimple these holes here that are marked. These are red, these correspond with the red dots on the other. So we'll dimple these as well so everything sits flush together and you get a good bond. So all right, so I'll set up for that, and when I get back we'll have the squeezer out and you'll be able to see the squeezer work and everything. Be back in a few. Right. So this is the squeezer. Great tool. Do not oil. This thing has leather seals, and if you oil this machine, this pneumatic, it is pneumatic, it's run by air. You oil this, what will happen is the oil will cause the leather not to lose its seal, and then you have to send it back and have it replaced and repaired. Once again, it has a set. It's kind of like the one, but this is pneumatic. I have a foot switch, so I operate it with my foot. And like I said, there's already a set in here that's already in this system. Now, this is an adjustable, and we'll talk about that a little bit, because obviously these things are going to squeeze at different levels, so they make these adjustable, or you can get shims. Now, I've read, and actually the Isham, where I purchased this one, which is Plain Supply or plainstore.com, the Isham squeezer, love it. It's a great, ATS, all of them are great squeezers. This is an adjustable, so you turn this and this adjusts how well it squeezes and everything. You want it to squeeze. You want it to squeeze on its power stroke, on its utmost, most pressure stroke, and that's what squeezes and does what we need it to do. But they recommend that when you're doing dimpling, using the squeezer with the dimpling, is that you switch it out and use not the adjustable, because this moves and it will adjust and throw you off. So that's what I'm going to do now. Now, I purchased it, normally comes with bolts, but through Cleveland Aircraft Supply, which is not a sponsor, they don't sponsor us anyway. I just buy from the product. These are nice little pins that you can do. It makes life easier instead of having to use a bunch of bolts and untighten bolts. And normally there's a lot of pressure. I took that back one off. There's a lot of pressure on this spring for that. So let me come over here and give it a little bit of love. See what I'm doing. It's kind of like an AR-15. It's like doing an AR. So you pull on that, and that comes out, and then this whole yoke will come off as well. I'll go ahead and take those sets. That's a set. And I'll go ahead and take this set off so I don't lose it. And then we probably should have done that before, but this was set up to do some squeezing of some rivets. So I'll put those right there, and then you'll see this just comes out. I can actually do this with one hand, and this is the adjustable, and it screws up and down. There's a little screw there that allows you to thread it up and down. But like I said, when you're squeezing, they recommend that you use a solid set. So that's what we are going to do. So we're going to put this one in. This one's keyed. If you see it, it's got a key, so it's got to go in a certain way. This one here does not. It's just a bar with the end to accept your set. So this just goes in like this. And like I said, this is a pretty good, about a 2-pound piece of steel. This about maybe a pound. It would help if I did this right. Help me here. What am I doing wrong? Oh, I did have it backwards. So that mushroom, that in there goes down in there. And then see if we can do this with one hand. This goes on the yoke like that. And then you have to push, and I'm push like that. I'm gonna have to put the camera down. So I'm gonna set the camera right there so you guys can't see. Actually, I'll just stop it. She's back together. So there you go. I had to put the camera down and everything so we can get this. So now it's done. This is not adjustable. So the question is how do you set this to make sure that when it's power stroke at its end of its stroke, that's the power stroke, you want it at its maximum pressure. How do you adjust that? Well, that's easy. I'm going to put my tools. This is a little grease. We live here in Florida, all the humidity, so I store that in grease. This is the flat set that I use for doing rivets. So here we go. So I actually have a couple set, a couple Cleveland. This came from Plain Tools, plaintools.com. So I have a couple because I actually have on order some more some squeezers, so that way I don't have to keep switching these out to go back and forth. So I put these in organization, very key. And then I'm going to grab these. And if you notice, this is the same dimplers I was using on the DD2RT, but what they have for the squeezer is a washer. So I have these already gapped out with these washers. So I'm going to grab these already gapped out, so when it squeezes down, it is at its power stroke with the washer. Wow, doing this all with one hand. So let's see if I can get these on there. Now, once again, if where you put the male or the female dimpler set is totally up to you and your preferences. I don't know where I want them yet, so I'm just going to go with where I normally put them. It makes life easier. Now this is the one that comes up to it. So I am thinking, let's grab a part here. Ooh. Got my part here. I am thinking what I want to do is dimple this way. So that would mean I need the dimples to go in. So that would mean this guy here would have to go here. And this guy here would have to go here. See how that works? Perfect. Beauty. So that's how that works. So now I'll be dimpling in. So let me get hooked up with the air hose and everything. Air is already flowing in. This is my water separator. A little bit of water, see it down there, a little drip of water on the screen. You can see it. So this thing is working great, keeping them out of my tools. Florida, we're you know, it's humid here in Florida. Run it at 90 pounds. So it is just at 90. So that's where you should run these at, and that's fine. And everything. So let me get my foot switch hooked up and everything, because I do have a foot switch for this. and we will go from there. I'll join, or we'll come back when I get that done. All right, so I got my line going into my foot switch. There's my foot switch. Now let's talk a little bit about shop safety here. Obviously, you got to have your glasses. Whoop, I don't know if it's in focus. Wear your glasses whenever you're using sheet metal or anything like that. The other thing is, this squeezer exerts something like 3,000 pounds of pressure. It will crush your finger. It will crush whatever's in here. So when you're setting, doing these tools, getting this all lined up, doing all of that, make sure that you are not hooked up to any air whatsoever. I know I got a foot switch or whatever, but it doesn't matter. You know, don't be stupid. If this thing, when this accelerates, and you're gonna see it when it accelerates, it's got two stages. You can move it up and then it will crush. Once it gets to that crush mode, it's gonna crush. It's gonna do it. 3,000 pounds. That will literally, with this thing here, will literally take your. I mean, it'll go right through that. It will smash that finger to nothing. So safety. Do not ever stick your fingers in here with the airline hooked in. It will just. It's just not good. Like I said, you don't oil this machine. One of the other things too, a lot of people will say, well, this is actually the trigger if you're using the hand and not the foot, so it's two-stage. A lot of people will just say, oh, just tape this, or not tape it, but put a rubber band. Actually, there's just a set screw here, so you can just adjust it here. You don't have to rubber band this or anything. You can just set the set screw and have it always engaged based upon pressure. So with that, I'm gonna get plugged in and then I'll come back and show you how the squeezer works. So here is the squeezer. There is the foot switch. And the way this works is it is pneumatic. That's why they call it a pneumatic squeezer. So as you push on the gas, you can hear it, that squeezes up and then that makes the connection. And then it goes down. That's how it works. When it's in that upstroke though, it will take your finger. So do not ever work on these set. Don't ever change out a set with it plugged in or anything. And that is done. And the way that this works, let me see if I can kind of show you. Just kind of set it up like that. So the part is going to go in. Oh, so we might have a problem here. So that one, we're going to be doing some hand squeezing. How can we do this? Boy, you can't win for, there you go. Like that. And then, so you put the part on there, and then, let me see. I'll just do one. Like that. Put the part on there, squeeze it, and there you go. There's your dimple. That's how it works. See that? I think I might have found a new way. I like it this way. And that's what you want to do. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to put the camera down because I don't want to do that. But that's how it squeezes. And then it puts that dimple just like the other dimpler did. You can see it's perfect. And the thing, I don't know if you saw it, but you see a little halo around it. That tells me that we're getting good contact. We're getting good upstroke. And we're dimpling very well. The way that you can also test it, of course, is bring out your trusty rivet. These are a little bit smaller rivets. And you can drop a rivet in there. And there you go. That's how that works. So there's your dimpler. And I'll put all that back. So let me get the dimple in here, and then we'll be back. So with that said, I just want to say have a happy 4th of July. Enjoy the time off with your family and everything. You know, be safe with the fireworks. Go out there and blow stuff up though. There's nothing wrong with that. It's an American thing. So have fun, and hopefully I'll get back. Like I said, I'll get back here tomorrow. We do have a hurricane. I live right in the path of where the hurricane's. literally a mile off the Gulf. So we got to get ready, get the house ready,
get the generators ready, get the gas ready, get all that stuff done. And wife is coming back today from dropping the grandkids off at the parents, so I'm gonna have to shave this. So we'll get cleaned up. But it was fun, you know, being a little bit rough, and I enjoyed doing these videos. But I can see it's a pain getting all these videos put together and stuff. And I know why it took Eric so long to get, you know, 5 years now. No, nothing. But it's okay, Eric. Still love your videos, man. You do a great job. Actually, you and Plane Lady are the reason why I decided to build my own airplane. So thank you very much. And I wish I could split the finder's fee. Maybe I'll just pick someone else. I don't know. But I appreciate you guys and everything. But be well, be safe. Have a great 4th, and hopefully I'll see you there. I tell you to hit the like button, smash all that stuff, whatever. I don't care. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me. So you guys do what you want to do. We are going to do a Patreon to help cover some of the costs. There's also get my hand out of there. So we'll get that going. I like my Dunkin' Donuts. Where is it? I gotta learn how to Vanna White this. Move my hand. So I got my Dunkin' Donuts and everything. So yeah, you'll help me buy coffee and everything. So I do appreciate you, and be well.